Since President Trump retook office, he declassified several major files. One was the MLK file, another one was the JFK file. And if you notice, the mainstream media has been extremely quiet when it's coming to what they found in these JFK files. And there's one reason for it, is because the information in it actually points to one of their own. That's right. The information in it points to a Democrat. Which Democrat? You're going to be blown away when you find out who was probably the most likely to be responsible for the unaliving of President Kennedy. And I'm not just coming at you with mere speculation. In this video, I'm bringing you facts, actual footage, and words of the people who were best friends and close friends with Lyndon Johnson and also knew another individual. And this individual here, his name is Mac Wallace. You may have never heard of Mac Wallace before. Mac Wallace was very close with President Lyndon B. Johnson, LBJ. He was so close that he would do personal favors for him. What type of personal favors? The type of personal favors that can get you life in prison in Sing Sing. The type of personal favors where the person that you are giving the favors to, they never go home again. They never wake up again, okay? And that's from this man that has on glasses and looks like a pretty, a very respected individual, but is one of the most cutthroat and ruthless people you ever want to meet. His name is Mac Wallace. Now, why is that relevant to JFK? How is that relevant? Because within this video, I'm going to lay out for you what happened and let you hear from some of the players involved. Now, in this first clip that I'm going to show you, this is from the Zapruder film. Now, the Zapruder film, that was the actual footage of when JFK was unalive that day. So I'm going to run through this footage with you real quick. Then I'm going to jump into this other clip. Now, I'm going to show you something that you may or may not have ever noticed. We're going to look at this. Now, in this clip, I want you to look. I'm going to pause it because in the lower right-hand corner, if you see right here where my mouse is, in the front seat, the individual that's sitting directly in front of Jackie Kennedy, I want you to watch him. And I want you to watch as his left arm comes up, and you're going to be able to see him pull out what looks like a weapon and fire it. Check this out. Boom. Now I'll take it back if you missed it. Make sure you keep your eyes on the individual in the seat in front of Mrs. Kennedy. Boom. Did you see it? I'll pull it back again. You can clearly see this individual. And if you look right here, as I have it frozen, you can see his arm is up. Boom. I got it paused. Can you see the hand? And you see the explosion right here simultaneously. Is that just a mistake? I don't think so. Boom, you see him turn around. Now, another thing I want you to pay attention to, notice how these figures in the front seat turn jet black right after what looks like a discharge. Now, you see how you can see these people in the front seat. They're visible right now as I take it back. You can even see the back of this gentleman's hair, but watch how they turn to shadows right after you see his arm come up. You can see him. You can see his skin visibly right there. Watch him come up. Boom. They turn to shadows. You can see everybody else's color perfectly fine. Mrs. Kennedy, you see the flowers. Why are these two individuals blacked out? And they stay blacked out. And it's not just because they turned a corner or something like that, because everyone else is still clearly visible. I'm going to do it one more time. Boom. One more time, because I just want to make sure you see what's happening. Something that we missed all of this time. Here it comes. Boom. And then they turn to shadows. Now, you may be looking and saying, oh, Brian, please, Brian, that ain't crap. You're not showing us anything. What do you think you're really showing us, man? Well, I would have thought the same thing until I came across this footage from this investigative journalist who actually researched this Zapruder film. Now, this clip is a little bit long. It's 2 minutes, but please watch it. And then the last clip, I'm asking you, if you want to know what happened to JFK and you've been wondering, please stick around, because the individuals in this video are going to lay it out for you and how Mac Wallace is involved. But check out this investigative reporter as she lays out to you what the agencies told her. Check this out.
Oh, the Zapruder tape. He stands up and he starts playing his tape. It was the Zapruder tape of the Kennedy assassination, but then he slowed it way down. And it was so slow that you could almost see the air moving. Then you saw the driver take a gun and go like this and shoot Kennedy, and the bullet comes out of the gun this slow, very, very, very slow. And it hits Kennedy in the head, and you see everything flying out of his head. And I'm thinking, this isn't the tape I ever saw before. So I said, is this a doctored tape? What's this about? And he said, this is the original one. And I said, no, you know. And he says, well, I'm going to show you the one that you've seen on the media. Now, the next tape is your typical one where the driver just keeps driving, never even flinches with the gun. And he stops the tape. And he says, look at the tree. And there's the top of a tree growing in air. And he says, this is the one that you're seeing on the media. And it's been doctored. He looked very, very intently at me and he said, nothing is as it appears to be.
Okay, so we got that, right? Now, in this next clip, these individuals, these men, as you can see right here, it says an audio tape has been released to the public in which Clifton C. Carter, the former executive director of the Democratic National Committee, DNC, and a close associate of Lyndon B. Johnson, allegedly admits that LBJ hired Mac Wallace to take the life of JFK. And you heard it. Now, I'm going to enlarge this one because I really want you to vibe with this one and really see and pay attention to what they're talking about, because it gets deep, man.
Sure good to see you. How's life treating you today? Well, Saul, it's been a pretty touch and go situation. Lyndon and I have had quite a few unpleasant words here lately over the deal with that he hired Mike Wallace to assassinate the president. It's been hectic in every way.
If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I'll never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hitting that like button, it really does help the channel, help spread the information out. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And even if you are subscribed or just subscribing now, make sure that you hit the notification bell and select all, because YouTube hasn't been getting out the notifications. And I want to make sure that you get notified the next time I upload a new video.
But we've lived through this far. I guess we'll continue to do so. Lyndon should have never issued that order to Mike. But we've had our differences, and I'm a true blue to Lyndon, as I've always been, and tried to carry out every order that he's ever given me. But this is one I'll probably never be able to forget. And the times that we've had in Texas, and the embarrassment that Lyndon had gotten from Kennedy, I guess there wasn't anything else to do but what he did. Well, you know, Lyndon could have really hit me if he would. Well, Lyndon's the kind of person that doesn't want to help anyone. He's all for Lyndon, and that's the way he's pretty much always been. Well, they had me backed up on that Henry Marshall killing, and they just kind of blackmailed me to keep my mouth shut. And if I hadn't had a bunch of tapes that I played after he got killed, because 17 got killed in this situation very mysteriously. And I've done a lot of time, and I've lost a lot of money, and hurt my family a whole lot. And it's really got me just disgusted with Lyndon in one way. In one way, I feel real sorry for him. But I really feel like that in Lyndon's heart, he felt like that he was doing the right thing. He felt like that he was the savior of the common man. I feel like that in his heart he wanted to help people that have not. But I don't believe that anything, my church-like background would have never let me sanction all the killings that he has done. What do you think about it, Cliff? Do you really believe that it could have been handled anyway without killing all these people? We got rid of the Kennedys. You think he would have won the election against him? Well, I don't really believe so. He tried desperately to do just that, and there didn't seem to be any other way. I know that he regrets a lot of things that he has done, but still, it's been a battle from day one. Well, Dale, I sure do appreciate all the things that you've done for us, and I appreciate the trust that I've had. We've had you for a long time friends, and I'm just sorry that I've embarrassed all my friends, because all my friends do this. Oh, you didn't embarrass me. And what I was really afraid of, my brother Bob that got killed, our plane was down at Bryan the day that Mike Wallace killed Henry Marshall. And I was afraid it's going to tie him into the thing, and we couldn't afford to. In fact, Pam started to write a book. And when she really got scared when she got into the thing, it was just too scary a deal. But anyhow, this too will pass. But it's been a long old journey. What do you think about F.O. Bankston? Well, W.O. was a great leader, and he's been probably one of the best things that ever happened out of Texas. Of course, he's got a lot of real good friends. And Lyndon's been one of his true buddies for many years. And anything that he just has to have, that the old see that it, done. Well, I just can't believe that F.O. Bankston has the power over the police department that he has. He buys every year, the sheriff buys him a brand new car, Bill Decker. And I just don't see how politically that he can get with it. But nobody will ever understand. And really, in the early years, I thought that Lyndon really had a mission from a higher power, who I used to call God, to carry out a lot of things for the common people. And I really believe in his heart that he thought that he was destined to rule the people. How do you size up Lyndon Cliff after all these years of horror? Well, actually, Lyndon's just been kind of going downhill health-wise and politically wise. He's just wore out. And I feel like he's come to his end of his rope. But all these things that's been eating on him for all these years are just now taking its course. And I feel like Lyndon's done a lot of good things in his life, and he's done a lot of bad things. But Cliff, I hate to see you so downtrodden and so discouraged. And I just hope that you can get a hold of yourself and not be so tore up. But anyhow, let's go in the house and let's have a cup of coffee and something to eat. Okay? Sounds good to me. Oh.
Wow. So as you just heard the chairman, former chairman of the Democratic National Committee, speaking with another individual about Lyndon Johnson and Mac Wallace and him taking the lives of not just Henry Marshall, not just JFK. There's something like 8 people. I even believe LBJ's sister was one. It's definitely worth you digging into, because it blew my mind, because I knew that he had a disdain for JFK. I knew that him and RFK totally hated each other. But to find out that he was probably the mastermind of America losing that leader, and who's to say was he involved in the brother? Because let's just be real, he was running against the brother in '68, and the brother was trending to win. And in California is when he lost his life to Sirhan, who says that he has no recollection of it. A small little immigrant dude. And now we know there's multiple bullets, 2 different weapons. There was more than the shots that were in RFK. There was other shots and bullet holes other places. And so there was more than one person letting loose in there. So, man, it's just crazy how this stuff is coming out. But I wanted to share that with you, and you hear from the horse's mouth rather than me getting on talking about what I heard and what I saw. And what about that first film clip where you can clearly see the driver turn around, and simultaneously when his arm is doing this, we see the explosion with JFK. And then we hear the investigative journalist who talks about her meeting with the CIA, and they told her, hey, yeah, it was doctored. And we saw the clip of the half tree, which is what the media had showed for years. And it's just wow. Then we hear the director of the Democrat Party talking about this. It's just mind blowing. So if you've hung out and you watched this, you're a true historian and a true patriot. And I really do appreciate you. And I thank you so much. And I hope that it was enlightening and I hope it was enjoyable. Do me a solid if you would. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.